Good afternoon and welcome back to the National Volleyball Centres. We're ready for the closing ceremony and medal presentations here from Five Nations. Mike Hansen-Morris, Jess Smith, Alex Chinnery, all going to be with you for this one. And I think, Alex, the easiest place to start is talk about tournament as a whole. Not many five-setters, but a lot of competitive sets, a lot of small margins, and a great tournament overall for a lot of international experience and a lot of debutants as well.
Yeah, I think it's been great to have international volleyball back in the UK, back here in Kettering. Really useful for all nations to get, as you say, some people some international experience that haven't had it yet. You know, push some impressive games from teams that don't get to play each other that often. You'd think, being neighbours, England and Scotland and the Ireland teams would play a little bit more often than they do, but England and Scotland men, it's been 2 years since those two teams played, so it's been good to have some competition back in again amongst these nations and some high-level international play as well.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of presentations to give out, awards across the tournament, so we'll get to them one by one. But I think the important thing, you talked about the rivalries, a lot of friendships, some players know each other from cross-court, but you could tell when England, Scotland got together, Northern Ireland and Ireland got together, those matches just ramped up intensity, and for some people, first time seeing those type of experiences, going into junior competitions, but this is another step up, and a lot of people rose up and really staked a claim where coaches are going to come away from this tournament with a lot of headaches.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really play one another at junior level because of the different zones that the nations are in. So it's the first real opportunity at senior level to go and play these rivalry games, and we almost had the perfect medal matches with the two rivalry matches being played for the medals as well.
Yeah, obviously we'll make sure the winners understand what's going on as we go through, as we're about to start the medal presentation. It's great to have so many people with us and to present the awards. Our first award, of course, will be to our match officials as well. But first of all, before we start that, obviously the volunteers, crucial to all these events. Obviously no line judging, but the multi-ball system back in play. Obviously getting this place set up as well. It's not easy to host a couple of games here in Kettering.
No, and I was here Friday morning. I got to see the mammoth operation that is setting up this place to host international and top-level volleyball, and so many people putting so much hard work and effort into making this event happen.
And we've got multiple trophies. So just to fill you in a bit of a background, the first trophy, the Carol Russell Trophy, the England-Scotland rival. We've talked about it already, Alex, but always a big one, and always nice when there's an extra trophy on the line for it.
Yeah, a lot of history to this fixture, a lot of history to this trophy. You know, for England to retain that's something they'll have been looking to do coming into the weekend. They went 2-0 against Scotland and were able to do what they needed to do on the men's side to retain that trophy.
Yeah, obviously the Five Nations trophies as well, and the Dr. Don Anthony Trophy, which is awarded to the nation with the highest combined match points across the women's and men's competitions. And I will tell you, without revealing the result, it was tight.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was tighter than many potentially expected it to be, and it's good that it did end up tight.
And here are some of our volunteers on stream now. They've done a great job making this event a success, both within the arena, but the field of play team, but also the team upstairs, the team you can't quite see, directing our cameras. Obviously the expanded coverage we're trying to bring here through Volleyball England. Obviously you've seen some of that at Super League Live. We're excited to head to Essex, Alex, to bring Super League Live in January, but the multi-system and having some of those. But these are the key people that have made it happen. The referees, not been an easy job. A couple of red cards bandished yesterday too.
Yeah, they're also in a really weird spot. So there's a new set of volleyball rules that are due to be published. They were due to be published last week on the 1st of January. They weren't published in time, so we had to play with the old set of rules whilst everyone's been getting ready to play with that new set. So tough weekend for the referees to have to make some late changes to the way they go about things, and I think they did a really good job. You didn't really notice them over the course of the weekend, and that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and also with no lines, they've had to make extra calls as well, really busy, and obviously working through the electronic scoring system as well. So our table officials as well have done a big job of keeping that up to date and allowed things to flow. As we now get ready for the men's presentation, and that'll be handed out by Mark Kontopoulos, the chair of the British Volleyball Federation, and that's a really important role to try and bring these communities together a little bit more that Mark's got.
Yeah, and it's great that there's someone like Mark in that role, someone who understands, who knows British volleyball inside out, is involved still in the game, coaching in the Women's Super League, involved on the beach side of things. You know, it's great to have a volleyball person as involved as he is.
So our first presentation, obviously we need to congratulate Northern Ireland men on their 4th place finish. That was a thriller over on court 2. They narrowly lost out to Ireland, who finished in 3rd, but now are medalists. We will start with Scotland men. Number 14, Mark Cathro. Number 13, Cameron Hook. 12, Harry Orr. 11, Liam Darling. 10, Jonathan Black. 9, Ewan Fraser. 8, Cole Turnbull. 7, Daniel Podriski. 6, Ionis Sevius. 5, David Mexon. 4, Jack McKelvey. 3, Mikhail Sovas. 2, Jack Arnold. And 1, Ewan Ramsey. And Alex, this Scotland team caused a lot of problems for all the teams. But really what they did is England are being presented with the trophy.
This is the Carol Russell Trophy.
For the Carol Russell for beating Scotland. But this Scotland team really made England work for it. And okay, today was 3-0, but it wasn't that convincing.
No, it was a close game. It was a close 3-0. Scotland just couldn't quite get their game going like they could last night. England will be pleased to retain this trophy again coming out of the game.
So Scotland now are getting the medals as they're handed out to the coaching staff. And I think the thing for Scotland was today in the final, couldn't get the outsides going as much as they did, but they've definitely got a diverse attack. The defence was really solid. And you see some of the players here, Cameron Hook in particular, not quite his day-to-day, but throughout the tournament, definitely caused problems. And obviously Cameron back in Scotland, but that Super League experience really shone through.
Yeah, I think the Scottish players here that have pro and Super League experience have made a real impact to the team this time round. You look at Cammy, you look at Ewan Fraser, the setter, leading as captain for the first time and doing a really, really good job of that. Dave Mexon plays professionally in Luxembourg, had a big impact on this tournament as well. You know, Cole Turnbull, the backup setter at the University of Nottingham, came in, had an impact in some of the games, allowed Ewan to go back and play some opposite as well. So lots of good performances from this Scotland team, the team that play abroad as well, doing a really good job and adding to this group. And you know, they were clearly the second best team here. They were clearly a step above Ireland and Northern Ireland as well, and just couldn't quite match what England put down today.
And obviously got to as well give a shout out to the coaching staff. Not an easy job, long weekends, a lot of game preparation. We know coaching staffs were frantically last night trying to make some adjustments to the game plan. Scottish coaching team, Alistair, Jack, Ken Mahon, Alistair Galloway and Dominic Hewson. As you see, now get ready for the presentation to the gold medal team. And of course that was England. And obviously one trophy already in hand. They get their hands on a second, and we'll start with the England coaching team. And obviously some of them are out in Novotel, and what a job they've done forming together. And you can see obviously the analyst side led by arguably the best analyst we've got.
Yeah, been one of the best out there. You know, having to come up against him twice a year in the Super League, it just shows how well prepared side out are every time you play them. Makes a huge impact on this England staff. This Coach Loftus, Simon Loftus, has put this staff together and really started to grow the skill set of everyone involved. To have this many coaches able to perform at this level have done such a good job of developing this program over the last few years.
Yeah, Simon Loftus obviously outfit of the day as well. The England shirt, the gold shoes, and that paid off. But obviously this England roster, Oscar Curzon-Hall, Zach Hadgett, Nathan Fullerton, Ryan Poole, Noah Sykes, Jacob Lloyd-Williams, Sam Peters, James Ledbury, Ben Lucas, Ephraim Mills, Mac Mikowski, Chester Searle, Hayden Lawson and Dan Samson. And obviously I heard Simon Loftus talk after the game, the diversity of his England roster. A couple of under-18s coming through, but really they had just diverse offensive weapons, and that's what pulled them through.
Yeah, I think, you know, being able to take as many offensive swings as they did. They've got players that can play at speed. They've got big players. They've got athletes that can go up and hit high balls. Like, it's a really dynamic roster, lots of good young talent coming through as well. I think Max Mikowski, really the standout of this tournament. You're coming in at 16 years old, starting as the libero in the final and making a massive impact.
As we get ready for England's captain, Zach Hadgett, to receive the trophy. And well-deserved. And Simon Loftus tried to downplay it, but with Novotel team performing well as well, a lot of selection headaches moving forward for the next events.
Hey, make no mistake about it, England targeted this event, they've come in here to win, and they've done the job that they wanted to do. You know, they put in a really good performance. They've been able to showcase how far this program's come here on home soil. It's been great to see.
As we pause for the national anthem of the winners of Five Nations Men, England. So congratulations to our winners, as we're very, very shortly get the women's presentation underway. Jess Smith alongside me for that one. Jess, obviously we'll focus a little bit on the final that you had in a minute or two, but we need to talk about this Northern Ireland and Irish team. Obviously I've just come from that game, especially both teams full of youngsters, and the fact that they were able to take sets off England and Scotland in the group stage says a lot about those two teams.
Yeah, plenty of potential in both of those squads. Really impressive performance today as well from Sweeney, who didn't really make a big showing earlier on in the tournament, but I think she was your woman of the match today.
Yeah, she was. Again, coming in, a young setter, making her debut in this tournament, going through, and obviously his Irish team as well. Maybe a little bit undercooked on day one, and they'll probably not be happy with that initial performance when they took a set, but you can kind of show the growth of that team. And again, they were really convincing the latter half of the tournament. Two strong performances to close out.
Yeah, completely agree, and excited to see what will happen with both of those squads as their players get a little bit more experience in the next couple of years, because they were some amazing bright sparks, as you mentioned, between both teams. And the England women and the Scotland women all lining up now in anticipation of the presentation of the women's trophy, as you can see.
As Gwyn Batten, the Deputy CEO of Volleyball England, will do the presentations. And of course, Jess, you saw it, the final for the longest time looked like it was going to be clean billing for Scotland, but this England team fell a little bit short, but boy did they fight hard in sets 3 and 4.
Yes, they really did. I mean, Scotland came out with an absolute stormer, winning that first set 25-8 and the second set 25-14, but England fighting back to take set number 3.
And obviously, again, really difficult for England, splitting the squads with Novotel as well. Probably a slightly stronger squad went to Luxembourg, flipped opposite of the men, but this coaching staff did a really good job. Darren Lewis, Maria Batelli, tons of experience, and that really helped this young team.
Yeah, we've got a lot of young players that have represented England from a junior standpoint, making their debut this weekend. Massive congratulations to all of them for their performance, and definitely a bright future for English volleyball here.
Yeah, so the England team, Jojo Cruz, Alice Jagielska, Saskia Freitas-Schofel, Catherine Tolley, Daniela Shandu, Madeline Montero, Abby Littler, Harriet Philp-Edwards, Lauren Howe, Natasha Frost, Isabel Brown, and of course the captain, Molly Van Essenen. The experience of Molly Van Essenen in particular as captain, could tell how animated she was in some of the later huddles in the Scotland game, but she's had to work with a lot of different people. She's not really set for a lot of these people before, and she did a really good job calming the team down when they needed to.
Yeah, completely agree with that. That calm level of leadership is really beneficial for a young squad like we've seen with England this weekend, and will continue to make an impact with them. We saw that great performance from them. We're just about to see the Scotland women earn their trophy, so we'll have some words about their performance, especially in that gold medal match that we saw this morning.
Yeah, and it'll
because
start with their coaching staff, Gail Wilson, Fiona Welsh, and Daniel Trailer, and they were pushed. They had to make some adjustments in set 2. We'll talk about, obviously, as we get to Shona Fraser's start, but she went off the boil. England adjusted, and Scotland had to find different solutions.
yeah, definitely. England made some changes in that set number 3, putting some serious pressure on the Scottish offense and getting out of those tough serve-receive rotations that they struggled with in set number 1.
And the Scotland team, Holly Scott, Lauren Hislop, Lisa Waldy, Shona Fraser, Raven Gill, Anna Richardson, Emma Waldy, Antonia Porsche, Rachel Morrison, Carly Murphy, Alexis Cruzy, Ellen Ranklin, and Jessica Burns. I know player of the game was so tough for you, Jess and Alex, on that call. Like the diversity of the Scotland offence and everyone stepping up, and 3 players all with 17 points says all you need to know about this attacking unit.
Yeah, exactly. And it really is a testament to the team. You know, you don't see it in the attacking stats as much, but the Scotland defense as well spread the load across all of their defending players. But standout for me was libero and Captain McGreedy.
As Scotland captain Laura McGreedy, slightly off your screen, apologies for that, brings the trophy home. And what a tournament she had. Obviously the most experience of this Scotland team. Not going to have many more international caps. We'll talk about her shortly after we have the national anthem for Scotland. And there's the Scottish national anthem. Yeah, we talk about the experience, and that leadership group really helped Scotland. But again, they've got that mix of blend, and rightly deserved champions. They, over 2 games against England, dominated for large parts of the matchup.
Yeah, massive fight back from England in the gold medal match today, taking a set off Scotland after a tough 3-0 defeat last night in the last of the pool phase matches. And huge amounts of potential in this English squad. And the Scotland ladies will be looking to build on this as they continue their international campaign.
Indeed. They'll go from strength to strength. More international games planned for all the nations. And I'd say we've got 1 trophy left, Jess, but I can't really call it a trophy, can I?
Yeah, it's not quite a trophy. It is something interesting. Something exciting for somebody to have up on their wall, I suppose.
Is the very prestigious Dr. Don Anthony Trophy, given to the overall team. And I'll tell you how close this was. This was decided by 2 sets. So when you're talking head-to-head, 1 set swing in a game may have flipped where this trophy goes. 4th place was Northern Ireland. 3rd place was Ireland. And winning the trophy by 2 sets was England, and that comeback in the 3rd set clinched the sword for England. The 2 captains, Molly Van Essen and
Zach Hadgett
Zach
there.
Hadgett, will go up to collect it, and that will stay south of the border. Valiant effort by Scotland, but overall trophy well deserved by England. But that really could have gone either way.
Yeah, it really could have. After the first 2 sets in the England-Scotland women's match this morning, it very well could have been a 3-set closeout from Scotland. But that fight back from England and securing this trophy is, and you could see Hadgett giving the trophy to Van Essen.
I think Zach Hadgett's got enough trophies. He got 2. I don't think he could carry a 3rd. As that will all but bring up the medal ceremony here. And Jess, your final thoughts of the weekend?
I must say, for me, the most exciting match of this weekend was the 3rd, 4th place men's match between Ireland and Northern Ireland, where Northern Ireland goes up 2 sets to 0 with quite tough victories. And Ireland comes back with a 3-set reverse sweep to take that one home after not winning a single match all weekend.
Indeed, and obviously massive congratulations to the winners, but also all 4 teams are travelling. It's been a wonderful event. As I bring in Alex just to get some final thoughts. Alex, obviously we talked about it, but as a coach, the importance of the youth development, obviously programs are trying to build across the country, across the road, and for you, looking at some of the younger talent coming through, not just in England, but across Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, how exciting is it that the options for players' development is starting to grow, and the whole federation all 4 federations coming back together is really going to help grow the domestic game?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more opportunities we get for senior national team athletes to go out there and play in front of home crowds, create some inspirational figures for these youngsters to pretend to be when they're out there playing with their clubs. Everyone knows who Jude Bellingham is. Everyone knows who some of the top athletes are in some of these sports. We don't really have those figures in volleyball in England. These kind of tournaments here on home soil can help create those kind of figures. It can give kids, athletes, players to look up to, and opportunities to look up to as well. For a couple of years now, there haven't been these games out there in the open for young athletes to see, the opportunity to think, I might actually be able to go and represent my country at a senior level on this stage at home in front of my family and my friends. And I think that's so important, that this opportunity, what this tournament kind of brings. So it's been a massive success to have this tournament back, to have international volleyball back in England, and I think just kudos to everyone who's put in so much hard work to getting this tournament to happen.
Yeah, and we obviously appreciate, as Simon Loftus seems to have missed the England team photo. Good old men's head coach. But obviously, I think also massive appreciation for everyone watching back home. Obviously, we know not everyone's been able to travel, especially with the Irish teams. The weather's definitely not great today, so hopefully everyone gets home safe. But it's great to see so many people joining in. I know some of the viewer counts yesterday in particular were great, and again, it's just starting to bring that support through.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm hoping we can make this tournament an annual thing. I think that's the plan, and I'll be looking forward to it next winter.
Yeah, there was a quick shake of the head and then a smile from some of the Volleyball England staff. Yeah, obviously this tournament might move as well, but obviously great to have it here in Kettering. And Alex, before I let you go, second half of the Volleyball England season. Obviously, I know you're fully invested in the women, but you're a volleyball expert. How impactful and how tight is these finishes on both the men's and women's Super League side going to be down the stretch?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite something. I think the top 4 in both leagues may become quite clear quite quickly, especially on the men's side. Women's side's a little bit more tight. The top 6 are all vying for those top 4 spots, but I think that final 4 down at Crystal Palace is going to be quite the event. I think there's going to be some real fire that happens there, and I think there's going to be some good teams, especially on the women's side, that miss out on that top 4, potentially some big names as well.
Yeah, we look forward to bringing you some more. We'll head to Alex's home venue, the Essex Sports Arena, end of January for a double header with Essex and Durham. But that will conclude 5 nations here in Kettering. We appreciate you joining us, from Luke Wilshire, Dennis Shop, Jess Smith, Alex Chinnery, and myself, Mike Huntsmire. We appreciate you joining us for 5 nations.